Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, and in this segment I'm going to be going over something that my wife and I did, shared in some of the park visits all across America. There are some underappreciated beauty all around America that people don't necessarily know about. So let's get started here. Um, in our honeymoon trip, we had seen quite a few rainbows, and this is one of them that we greatly appreciated. There was multiple rainbows. There's clouds and rain and everything. So I just kind of put this in here. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is the Harper's Ferry National Park. I'm going to go over pictures. I have a liking for trees, so I was leaning on the tree here in Shenandoah Valley. Here's another rainbow, like I said. And then we went to Hollywood driving, and of course, this is similar to a national park, but not quite. Nature places are places that we cherish the most, and this is the hemlock tree in 1968. And unfortunately, by 2014, most of them were gone. And the reason they went is because over 300 years, the hemlocks disappeared because of the invasive pest called the hemlock woolly adelgid. So this is only one example of so many places that the original trees were lost, and that's tragic. And of course, one of the positive things that takes place is the birds that are there, such as the Blackburnian warbler and the winter wren. They find homes in these forests. Also, the trout are in the cold mountain. So here's another beautiful vista of valleys and mountains, and this is great. Here's our picture. And then here's a picture on rekindling nature. So what happens, I wanted to show you of the kind of the metamorphosis of what happens. There's a wildfire that swept over this mountain in 1986, and believe it or not, burned almost 5,000 acres in 7 days. That's why we hear about wildfires in California, and sometimes they destroy houses. And something as simple as even firecrackers and burning of one tree can decimate and destroy the whole forest. Of course, some of it is necessary, like for cleaning house and trees, and it keeps the forest healthy. But native Appalachian plants are fire tolerant, like the oak trees and woodland wildfires. So this is kind of a metamorphosis that takes place. Of course, if you think about the phoenix, that then you think about this metamorphosis and appreciate it. Here's the place I wanted to kind of show you. Here's a forest, and then there's kind of a rock place that's there in the middle. And again, this is in the Shenandoah Valley. And we're wondering what that was from. And there was actually landslides and things that took place that created these amazing sort of features. Almost looks like a effigy mound that's built by the Native Americans. This is a dam that was built over here, and I believe this might be Niagara Falls. I'm not sure. Here's a picture of an elephant. Of course, during the Punic Wars, the elephant was introduced into Europe and intimidated people that were in Europe, and so a lot of the northern African countries were able to take over due to the elephant. One place that we like to visit is the mound people. This is another mound area, and the what they say is keep respect to them. This is interesting because we're pretty much inducted into the Oglala Lakota tribe. They're very proud people. Unfortunately, their land has been taken repeatedly, and there was actually a kind of a battle in the 70s between the U.S. government and the Oglala Lakota. There's actually 3 tribes that have similar sounds, and so this is the Oglala Lakota, then there's the Oglala Dakota, so North Dakota, South Dakota came from that name, and then the Oglala Nakota. So these are all kind of remnants from the Native Americans, of course. Most of them were decimated from colonial rule and manifest destiny. Here's a buffalo. The first time we saw a buffalo, it was striking and alarming. And this is kind of a montage of the buffalo eating grass. And there was, in fact, a buffalo in the middle of the road, not wanting to move. And of course, there's a line of cars that were kind of waiting on the buffalo. The buffalo animal was very sacred to the Native Americans, but unfortunately, buffalo hunting was so frequent that people destroyed this grand animal. Here's we were quite a few feet, I think about 10,000 feet above sea level, and you feel like you're in amidst the clouds when you go up there. And we were able to kind of experience this and go through there. In fact, I didn't initially I didn't tell my wife how far high this was, and when she got there, she was kind of wonderstruck about this. Here's a huge tree. This is from the redwoods, and these trees are huge and fire resistant, so they're very strong and grow for years. And this is an example of how the trees used to be in the East as well, before they were all chopped down. All the trees in Pennsylvania are very recent trees that had been planted in the 1800s. Before then, those gigantic trees were chopped down and created into houses and different things like that. Here's another picture of the, as you can see, the Grand Canyon, and this is an amazing sort of National Park Service. Here's some internal pictures, and so that concludes the my presentation here, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.